Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I am Cikgu Roni and welcome to the science class. So before we start our lesson, as usual, we shall recite dua. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma warzuqni fahma wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okay, let's us go through with our objective, that is one, to identify parts of the shoot system, and second, to state the functions of leaves and flower. And how do we do this is to talk about parts of a shoot system, then we talk about leaves and its function, and we talk about flowers and parts of a flower. Okay, before that, we shall recap our previous lesson, that is the root system. So in a root system, plants have two main system, that is the root system and the shoot system. So this is the root system and the top one is the shoot system. So the root system has two parts, roots and root hairs. So these, the big ones, are called the roots, and the smaller ones, hairs look like hairs, are called root hairs. The root system helps the plants in two main ways. Number one, it helps to hold the plant in the soil, and number two, it helps to take in water and minerals from the soil and carry them to other parts of the plant, like in this picture. So like if you can see the animation, the person water the plants and water will go up here into the other parts of the plant. Okay, there are two main types of roots that are tap roots and fibrous roots. So this is called tap roots, one main root and many side root. Satu yang besar dan ada yang kecil-kecil sikit is called tap root. And we do have fibrous root, that is, wait, let me adjust this. Excellent. So fibrous roots have a lot of roots growing from here, like this picture. So this is called fibrous and this is called tap root. Okay, we shall continue the topic for this week, that is the shoot system. Now we know that plants is divided into two system, two parts, root system and shoot system. So shoot system, parts of a shoot system, there are four: stem, leaves, down, flower, and fruits and seeds. So these four are parts of a shoot system. Why the seeds it's in the same part as fruits? Because seeds always inside, always, not all the time, like except jagus, kacang jagusnya dorang. Kacang jagus ya bijinya di luar. Yes, except that maybe some other fruits the seeds is outside, but most of the fruit the seeds is inside in and at one place. Okay, let's talk about the stem. The stem joins the root to the upper part of the plant. So from the root, so bawah ni ada root, so ia sambung atas like this. So the stem joins the root to the upper parts of the plant. And also its function is it holds up the leaves so they can absorb sunlight. What can absorb sunlight? The leaves can absorb sunlight. So if the stem, if they have the stem will stand straight or holds up, so leaves can absorb sunlight. Next, stem carries water and minerals from the roots to all parts of the plant. It also carries food from leaves to all part of the plant. Now let's remember, roots, the function is it absorb water. Roots absorb water, ia menyerap air, and from roots the water will pass through the stem. So stem will carry the water and minerals dari sini, and it will go to the leaves or flower or fruits and so on. And then the other function of stem is it carry food. Like I said, the leaves make the food. Leaf buat makanan. Later we shall go into that. And the food from here will go down. Food from the leaves will go down or go everywhere to give the flower food or to give the root food. Ya bagi makanan arah semua bahagian from the leaf. So this must go through the stem, mesti lalu stem. If we can see here in the next picture, these are the example of stem tubes. Inside the stem tube, ni kalau sudah stem tu dipotong, macam mana rupanya. Inside the stem tubes that carry water and food to their parts of the plant. So this one example, bukan semua macam mana, but example lebih kurang macam mana lah. So this kalau potong stem nampak lebih kurang macam ni. We can see here. So one tube ni yang di luar, outside ni yang di luar ni, are tube that carry food. Yang di luar ni yang bawa makanan dari daun ke semua bahagian. So inside ni water carrying tubes inside this one are tubes that allow plant to carry water dalam stem. Jadi water tu bergerak. Bukan ia dah berlubang lah. Ia indah berlubang macam pipe no. Ya ada caranya. Kalau macam anda tadi lihat sini ni, ada caranya you can learn it one day in higher secondary school. Okay, but I can show you example macam mana tube-nya. So di luar ni outside carries food and this side inside carries water to all parts of the plant. More or less macam mana stem punya rupa, bentuk stem. Sini katanya apa ni, ada xylem sama phloem. Nanti kamu belajar tahun maybe berapa tu, 7, 8, 9, tahun 10 maybe. Okay, let's go forward into leaves. Most leaves are green in color. Most, I say, not all. Most leaves are green in color. They come in different shapes and sizes. So these are examples of leaves with different shapes and sizes. Green leaves, green. Now remember, daun yang hijau sahaja. Green leaves make food for the plant using water, carbon dioxide, and energy from the sun. So carbon dioxide is a gas, is a type of gas, sejenis gas, and this gas is all over us. When we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide. So the same thing with all the living things in the world. Most living things breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, water, carbon dioxide, and energy from the sun. If you can see here, carbon dioxide plus water will go into the leaves. Water dari mana? Water from the roots through the stem naik into the leaves. Carbon dioxide dari mana? Daripada air around it. This process is called photosynthesis. So with the energy from the sun, dalam ni carbon dioxide and water is processed and it will give carbohydrate or food for the plant, jadi makanan untuk plant, and release oxygen. Now a question, kalau carbon dioxide is all over us, keliling kita, macam mana ia masuk dalam daun? How does it enter the leaves? So your answer would be here. Photosynthesis. Now we talk about this process. Photosynthesis means, now remember, is a process for plants to make its own food. Ani plant saja ada photosynthesis and it process in the leaves to make food. Now, water is taken from the roots. Carbon dioxide is a gas in the air. It is taken in by tiny openings found mostly on the underside of the leaves. Carbon dioxide masuk ke dalam daun from holes. Ada lubang daun ni sebenarnya. There are holes that you cannot see with your eyes. Light energy plus carbon dioxide plus water is equal to food for plants. Now let's see the tiny holes that I mentioned. Tiny openings underside of the leaf, Nina. This one. Under the leaves, using a microscope, you can see small holes like this one. My microscope, electronic microscope, is in school. So maybe one day we can use it and take a look at this holes. These holes, kalau sekolah menengah, it also called stomata. Macam mata lah, stomata. So here, the tiny openings is where carbon dioxide will go into. Carbon dioxide masuk sini. Lepas tu bila jadi oksigen, oksigen keluar daripada lubang yang sama ni. From the same holes here. Okay, you shall learn this when you go to secondary school. It's okay. Flowers. Flowers come in many different shapes, sizes, and colors. Although they look different, they have similar parts. So these are flowers. They look different, but it have more or less the same parts. Maksudnya parts yang ni, this part, flowers. So if you can see here, flowers, this is called petals. Kelopak bunga is called petals in English. Petals are often brightly colored to attract insect. Sepal. So this one, sepal protect the flower at the bud stage. Bud stage means kalau ia bunga tu, ia belum jadi bunga, ia macam mana? Ia berbungkus. So ia dibungkus oleh what we call sepal. So bila bunga tu dewasa, ia akan terbuka macam tu. Jadi ada bunganya keluar macam tu lah. So yang ni, yang membungkus yang awal-awal, at the bud stage is called sepal. So next flower stalk joins the flower to the stem. Ini tangkai. That's very easy. So this is called petals. This is called sepal. And this is called flower stalk. Now let's go to the harder part. Now flowers, the stamen. The stamen is the male part of a flower. It has a filament and an anther. The anther makes pollen, which is used in reproduction. Okay, if you can see here the same flower like this one, petal, sepal, and flower stalk. But here we are talking about this part, this one. This is called stamen. Ini. So this one, tangkai itu yang di dalam ada kadang-kadang kalau kita lihat dalamnya ada macam ni. Okay, different flowers is different, but more or less ia ada lebih kurang fungsi yang sama. So this one, ini tangkai ini is called filament. Ni yang sini ni anther, and inside it dalamnya pollen. So everything here semuanya we call it stamen, and this is the male part of a flower. Ini part yang laki-laki dalam sains. Okay, that's the male part. Next we shall move on to pistil. Now pistil is this, the same flower but di dalam ni. Ni. Ini stamen, 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 and stamen. So pistil is this one. The pistil is the female part of the flower. It has stigma, stigma, ni atas stigma, a style, style, ovary, ovary, semua sekali ni ovary, and ovules. Dalamnya we call ovules dalam ovary. The ovules will become seeds. Ini jadi seeds nanti. Ovary mungkin jadi buah, ovule jadi seeds. So it's quite easy. This is stamen, the male part, and this is pistil, the female part. So pistil ada stigma, stigma atas, style, ovary, semua sekali, and ovules, ovules di dalamnya. So you have to learn parts of the flower, this one. So lagi sekali, let me re-explain. This is petal, sepal, flower stalk. And then this is the male part of a flower called stamen, filament, anther, and inside pollen. Dalamnya pollen. And this is the female part of a flower, that is stigma, style, ovary, and ovules. Okay, excellent. Now you example of local flowers. If you can see here, local flowers. So this is hibiscus. So this would be petals. Ia punya sepal indah nampak. So this one is flower stalk. So outside sini, we can see yang yellow tu, that is the stamen. Yang middle, stigma. And this one, style. Ovary sama ovulesnya di dalam indah nampak. Let's check another examples of local flower, bougainvillea or bunga kertas. Bunga kertas is more or less the same. This is the petal. Lepas tu sepal indah nampak, flower stalk pun indah nampak. But we can see here the stigma. I think that is the stigma and the style. The stigma and style. Some maybe are smaller flowers have smaller stamen and smaller pistil. So it's harder to see them, except when you hold them, I think. Next example of local flower would be tiger lily. Ini sepal, ini flower stalk. This one would be ia punya sepal. This is petal. Petal, sepal, flower stalk. And if you can see here, ni yang luar-luar ni, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are stamen, the male part of the flower. And in the middle, ni yang ini, bukan ini in the middle. In the middle would be the pistil, female part of the flower. Okay, another example would be orchid. I think orchid, this would be the petal. Can't really see. I think this is the pistil, and I'm not sure about this, but it have this more or less the same parts, or it must have every flower must have stamen and pistil, mesti ada, tapi yang mana satu cikgu kurang pasti. Okay, next, kana. Kana is a bigger flower. Easily we can say this is the flower stalk. And then yang ini belum jadi bunga kan, this one. So this one sepal, protecting the flower. So this is the petal, and we cannot see from here the pistil and stamen. Okay, worksheets are provided through Google Forms. Notes are also available through the links provided. So let us recap for today's science class. That shoot system consists of stem, leaves, flower, fruits, and seed. Fruits and seed we shall learn next week. So the stem holds up the leaves so the leaves can absorb sunlight. The stem carries water from roots to all parts of the plant. The stem also carries food from leaves to all parts of the plant. So stem have to function, carry water, and carry foods. And number 4, leaves make food for plants by a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis means water plus carbon dioxide from the air and light energy. It processed in the leaves through a process called photosynthesis, and it will make food and oxygen, produce food for the plants and produce oxygen to the air, release oxygen. So summary number 5, flowers have a male part called stamen. Stamen consists of filament, anther, pollen, and a female part called pistil. Pistil, stigma, style, ovary, and ovules. Okay, thank you for watching our lesson for this week. If you're watching YouTube, you can subscribe the video, like my post, and please share. Sharing is caring. Share to all your friends and families. Okay, we shall see you again next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.